Hometalk's Facebook Live. I'm Haley Giambalvo of Design Improvised blog, and I'm so excited to be here today. I'm in San Antonio, Texas, and I'm going to be making two colorful, happy spring wreaths for you. And hopefully you will want to make them too after seeing how easy they are to make. So the first one we're going to do is what I call a fiesta wreath. And this is based off of a fun tradition we have here in San Antonio every April called Fiesta. And it's known for these bright colored wreaths. So I'll tell you a little bit more about that festival soon, but wanted to at least show you what we're going to be making. It's brightly colored flowers, some flowers actually made from cupcake liners that I made, and these pretty ribbons, something you don't usually see on a wreath, but it adds a lot of element of fun to them. So we're going to make that, and then afterwards we are going to make a really pretty Easter egg wreath. I made this all with supplies from orientaltrading.com, and I really love this wreath in particular because it uses super inexpensive, simple materials like plastic Easter eggs, and it makes them look chic and like $1 million. And I'm going to show you my tricks for making a really pretty wreath that you can hang on your front door. And we're going to do both of these wreaths in under half an hour, hopefully. So let's get started. See if I can line that up there without falling off. Okay, we're going to start with the Fiesta wreath, and I'm going to show you what you need for that. The first thing is a foam wreath form. What I'm using here is a 12-inch wreath form, and it's a little smaller than the one you see here. I think this is a 14-inch, but just for the sake of demonstration, I'm using a 12. But you can find these at the craft store. Also, you're going to need lots of artificial flowers. I've got all different shades of kind of pink here. I try to keep them in a similar color palette, and my great source for these, where I got all these, is a Dollar Tree. Each of these bunches is only $1, which is awesome because flowers from the craft store can get expensive, but you can find really pretty ones at the Dollar Tree or other dollar stores. We're also going to use a wire clippers with those, cupcake liners and your favorite colors and patterns. We need both a regular size and then the smaller baking cup, which is used for like candy making or mini muffins. And lastly, some ribbon scraps. So if you're like me, you never want to get rid of any ribbons you might get on a package or whatever. Always save your remnants, and you can use them for a project like this. So I've got some different pom-pom trim, some rickrack, and some pink ribbon there that we'll be using at the base of the wreath. And a couple other supplies, my trusty glue gun. We're going to go through a lot of hot glue on this. And some scissors, I think, maybe just in case for the ribbon. So, okay, let's dive in. So what we're going to do first is we're going to cut off the flowers from the stem. They usually come in bunches like this. I've done a number of them already, but just to demonstrate how to clip them off. For this project, you're going to want to leave about 1 inch on the stem because that's what you're going to use to push it into the wreath form. So I'm just going to use my wire cutters and trim them off. Let me get it here. And you want ones that have a nice sturdy stem like this. It's super sturdy so it'll poke in easily. Some of the artificial flowers have kind of little limper stems, so those won't work quite as well for this. But I'm just clipping them off. And doesn't take too long here. But the nice thing about this project is they just poke right into that styrofoam, and I don't even use hot glue to secure them. You can just poke away and fill out the wreath form in a matter of minutes. They actually stay in really nicely. So that's the idea with clipping them. These are pretty thick wires, so like a scissors won't cut it. You do want some wire cutters. Let me just do one more bunch. Same idea there. Clip away. I stole these out of my husband's toolbox. I gotta remember to put these wire clippers back because he always doesn't like when I start taking out his tools for my crafting and then don't put them back. Let's see here.
A pink set of your own. You need a pink set for yourself.
Oh, a pink set. Yes, there we go.
Birthday gift.
I know. And I forgot to say, I would love to hear where everyone is watching from today. I mentioned I'm here in San Antonio, but where is everyone else from? Please weigh in. I'd love to hear. And also, I've got my friend Heather videotaping with us today. She was so kind to offer up her time to come over and tape me while our kiddos are at school. So if Heather's doing a good job, give her some hearts. But what I'm doing is I'm just starting to take the flowers that I clip and I'm just randomly sticking them all around the wreath form. Now, if you wanted to make it extra secure, you could definitely put a dab of hot glue at the base when you stick it in. But honestly, the one I made over here that I showed you, And the one I'm going to make today, they actually stay in really well. And if they ever do fall out, you just stick it back in. So super easy to start poking them around.
We have people from the UK.
Hey guys.
Las
Awesome.
Vegas, Maryland, Torrance, California. That's where I'm from.
That's from California. Hi guys. Thank you so much for tuning in.
And another person from the UK. Some more Texas.
Awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Fiesta in Texas. If anyone's on from Texas, they probably are familiar with Fiesta, especially if anyone's watching from San Antonio. So every April for 2 weeks, the whole city really celebrates Fiesta. And it is a tradition that started, I believe, in the late 1800s with a parade to honor the Alamo. And since then, it's expanded into all sorts of parades, different events. Then these wreaths is another thing that people do during that time. Everyone has a really colorful wreath on their front door. It's just a really fun part of the Fiesta tradition to kind of, it's a very colorful festival. A lot of the wreaths, the traditional ones, use the tissue paper flowers, the Mexican tissue paper flowers. For mine, I'm going to use cupcake wrapper flowers as my own little twist on it. But when I first moved to San Antonio, it was right at Fiesta time, and one of the things I noticed were all these wreaths on the front door. I just thought they were so pretty, and I wanted to try to make my own because I noticed you can buy them at the store, places like Hobby Lobby, even the grocery store here. They're expensive.
Yes,
they're so expensive. They sell them, but they're at least $100, up to $150 for one. So here we're going to make it for a fraction of the cost, and I think they turn out just as pretty. As you can see, I'm filling this up really quickly here. And one thing you always want to remember is to get the sides of your wreath, because when you hang it on the door, you are going to see the sides, so you want to make sure those are covered. And I might run out of flowers here, but that's okay because we've got the cupcake wrapper flowers to fill in any of the gaps. So let me just finish up.
Can I admit something?
What's that?
I don't have a Fiesta wreath.
Well, I think we need to solve that problem. You might be the new owner of Fiesta wreath after this video.
Yeah.
So I probably used about 5 bunches of $1, the dollar store flowers. So that's $5 worth of flowers. I think I probably could have used maybe 2 more bunches for this wreath. So even that is $7 worth of flowers there. If you do get flowers from like a Hobby Lobby or a Michael's, they can be expensive. My trick there is to always wait till they go on sale. They're on sale pretty much every 2 or 3 weeks, about 50% off. So wait for those sales, and you can also use a coupon too. They usually have their 40% off coupon. So far we've done a pretty good job filling in the wreath. This is what it's going to look like. Obviously I used a little different color palette for this wreath, some kind of lime green and orange, and I stuck a more piece on this one. All right, Mr. Stan. So you can really, customize it to whatever colors you like. I think just find colors that work well together. And for the next step, we're going to make cupcake liner flowers. So who's ever used cupcake liners to make flowers before? I would love to hear from you. Tell me what you've made with them. Let me just show you how to make one real quick. It's super simple. You're going to take 3 cupcake liners, 2 regular size, and then 1 of the small ones. Of course, you can use any color or pattern you like. I found these floral ones also at the Dollar Tree. I thought they looked nice with the colors of the flowers that I used. And all you're going to do is you're going to take your 3 and you're just going to smash them down in the middle to flatten them out. 1, 2, 3, okay. And then you're going to take your glue gun and you're just going to add a dab of hot glue in the center. So this will be the base.
Oh, somebody said a cowboy boot wreath.
Ooh, cute.
I like that.
Cute. I love them because, it's so inexpensive to use cupcake wrappers for this. If anyone's made other more complicated paper flowers, which I have done some different versions, this is about as easy as it gets. So you're laying there 2 on each other. The little one goes on top with a dab of hot glue right in the center, like that. Push it in to let it dry. And then you kind of pinch it from the bottom, and then just take your hands and kind of work it with your fingers there to make a pretty flower. And I thought these looked very similar to the tissue paper flowers that are kind of the Mexican, very colorful tissue paper flowers that are used in traditional fiesta wreaths, but it takes seconds to make one of these. So I'm going to make one more just to demonstrate, and then I've already have several others that I've made here, but let's try a different color combo. If you want to experiment a little bit, you can even get jumbo baking cups. I use those for my other wreath. They're a little larger for like the jumbo muffin size, and they even have kind of different shapes to them where like mine have like little flower petal kind of scalloped edges. So you can get creative with the cupcake liners you use. And in terms of where to find them, obviously the grocery store has some, but craft stores actually carry a ton of different options. It's amazing how many patterns and colors they come in now. So again, I'm just taking 3 cupcake liners. It was the first, layering the second one on top, and then a mini one in the middle.
One of the viewers mentioned that they made flowers out of the cupcake liners and then put pictures of the kids in the middle.
Oh, how cute! That's a really cool idea. So, cupcake liners, this was one of the first projects I did probably 5 or 6 years ago. I used to host DIY nights with some of my girlfriends. Once a month we would get together and craft. I'd come up with a craft project for us to make, and we'd drink wine and have appetizers. And one of the first things we did was make cupcake liner flowers, just like these. I got cupcake liners in all sorts of different colors, and it was so much fun. We ended up making them into either garlands or wreaths, and I actually have the initial wreath I made that I want to show you guys here in a second. Let me just finish this one.
Now, somebody mentioned they like to make candy wreaths for Halloween. Have you made one of those yet?
Candy wreaths?
Yeah.
That also include the cupcake liners? That sounds cool. Tell me more. I am always open to new wreath ideas. That sounds awesome. So that's kind of the look you're going for. Nothing, fancy, but it looks really pretty when they're layered into the wreaths. Let me just show you that cupcake liner wreath as another idea. So this one I made, I think probably about 5 years ago, and it's the same flowers that I just made there using solid colors, and you just cover a foam wreath form with them. Super simple to make. It looks really pretty. The only thing is with these cupcake liners, they wouldn't withstand the elements super well, so it's great for an indoor wreath. I love to hang a lot of my wreaths indoors, so just keep that in mind, but it's a really fun one to make, so I wanted to show you guys that as another idea. Okay, so let's start gluing on the cupcake liners, and for those of you that are just tuning in, we are making a pretty spring wreath with faux flowers and cupcake liner flowers. So I'm just going to take them, I'm going to add a dab of hot glue to the back and just start adding them on my wreath where there's gaps. So I don't know where everyone else is tuning in from, but I grew up in Nebraska, born and raised in Grand Island, Nebraska. So if there's anyone from Nebraska tuning in, hello.
From Pakistan.
Oh my gosh, amazing.
My goodness.
I just think that is so cool that there's Hometalk viewers all around the world tuning into these.
Somebody asked, what's your website again?
DesignImprovised.com. It's a long one. The reason I call it Design Improvised is because I'm always improvising. I'm not really good on crafts that take a lot of measurement or like specific steps that need perfect perfection. I never follow that rule of measure twice, cut once. I think that's how it goes. I just kind of wing it, and I like things that way that aren't super perfect. So yeah, Design Improvised.
Someone made a wreath with pine cones painted as flowers and Spanish moss.
Oh, how pretty.
Sounds really pretty.
So pretty. Yes, so I don't know if I even mentioned it. I'm sorry, guys, but Hometalk is doing a giveaway. They're giving away one of their tote bags at the end of the video. If you want to weigh in for the giveaway, you just have to let us know a wreath that you've made. If you're like me and have made a bunch of wreaths, tell me what your favorite is. I would love to hear.
We have a question. Can you Scotch guard the cupcake paper wreaths to make them last longer?
Perhaps. That is an interesting idea. I like that. I would give it a try and see what happens. They're not too expensive, so if you ruin them, it won't be the end of the world. But just as an example, this wreath that I have here, the one that I've already made, that I've had on my patio for the last 2 years, during the springtime anyways, and it's held up really well. It's faded over time, so if you want to see what it looked like in all of its bright, colorful glory when I first made it, you can check it out on my Hometalk profile. I've got it there. Whoops. So let me just, let's see, I'm not holding it. This is how it's shaping up. What do you guys think? Are you liking this? If you like it, would love a heart or let me know if you have any questions. I'm gonna keep adding a couple more to this to fill it out.
We're getting thumbs up on it.
All right, thanks guys.
Ooh, a barbed wire wreath.
Ooh, yeah.
You have to wear leather gloves, I think.
That's cool. That would go well in Texas.
You're getting lots of love on this one. Lots of hearts.
Thank you, guys. So as you can see, I probably made this in, I don't know, 15 minutes. I like quick crafts.
Oh, we're getting a hello from Omaha, Nebraska.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh yeah, so I was gonna say, I grew up in Nebraska. I went to college in Philadelphia, and then I lived for several years in Boston and Chicago before moving down to San Antonio 4 years ago. So all those places have a special spot in my heart. So, you know, shout out to anyone from those areas.
Hello from Chicago.
Hi guys. Hope it's warming up there. And one thing I've gotten really spoiled with down here in San Antonio is nice warm weather. I can't say I miss the Chicago weather too much, but I love the city. We lived in Wicker Park. All right, so, you know, there's a couple gaps that I could fill in around the edges. And you do, once you have a hot glue, you want to hold it in place for a few seconds just so it grabs onto that foam wreath form. But this is, well, let's just keep going a couple more so it looks good on the sides. So I love making wreaths. It's one of the things I probably make the most of on my blog. And I've got several of them on Hometalk as well, if you want to check them out. I've made them for every holiday, and I think the last time I've counted, I've made upwards of 30 different wreaths. I don't know why I enjoy it so much, but I just think it's such a nice way to celebrate the different seasons, the different time of year. And I always say if there's one thing that you're going to make for a holiday, make it a wreath, because it's just, I don't know, it's it always is a welcoming thing from if you hang them on your front door, especially after a long winter. If your front porch is looking a little sad, just a simple step of adding a colorful wreath to the front door will just make your house that much happier. And as I said, I also like to hang them indoors. We have like a big mirror propped up over our fireplace mantle, and I like to hang them on there for the different holidays. So that is the start of our Fiesta wreath. I'm going to go ahead and move to the next step. Hopefully you guys have got enough idea of how that works, but you can keep making the cupcake flowers to fill in the rest if you've run out of artificial flowers. And now we're just going to add the pretty ribbons from the bottom. All right?
How do you store your wreaths?
That is a great question. I'm running out of storage, but I have 2 beds in my house. The entire underside of the beds are filled with, or have wreaths under them. So I slap them under the bed, and that's really what I do. I also have a closet where I have some hanging up, but it does become a bit of a problem. But I found that, if you just do a 1 layer under the bed, they don't get crumpled. And I do end up giving a lot of mine away because I just end up having too many. So, okay, let's talk about the ribbon. So, like I said, using any type of scrap ribbon that you have. Ribbon can be expensive if you go and buy a bunch of rolls of it, but use what you have on hand, and really anything goes for these Fiesta wreaths. The more the better. I use pom-pom trim, rickrack, just regular satin ribbon. Anything works. You can see here I did the same. I even tried using some crepe paper streamers, but those just did not hold up well in the wind and the elements as much. So I'm going to turn this over carefully. And all I'm going to do is just add a dab of hot glue here to the base of the wreath. Obviously, you're not going to see the back side, so it doesn't have to be pretty. If you wanted it to be pretty on the back, or at least you could probably wrap these and kind of glue them underneath the flowers on the front, but I'm just going to stick them here on the back.
Somebody says they have an entire wall in their garage where their wreaths hang.
Nice! I'd like to see that wall. I'm sure it's beautiful.
It's a wall of happiness.
I bet. So has anyone been to Fiesta before? So obviously you don't have to live in San Antonio to put this wreath on your door. It would look beautiful anywhere in the world, but it is such a fun festival. If you guys ever do come to San Antonio, come at the end of April so you can witness it. And my favorite one, I don't know if you have a favorite part of Fiesta, Heather, but there's a pooch parade where everyone dresses up their dogs in these cute costumes and they go on parade. It is so fun, so we're looking forward to that this year.
Well, we've got the kindergarten parade float.
Oh, that's right. That's another fun thing. The kindergartners at our elementary school, they each make their own float out of a shoebox, and they parade through the halls at school. That is another fun tradition. Very cool. So let me just lift this up and show you how it's coming along here. Obviously pull off the strands of hot glue, but keep adding as much as you want, and you've got a pretty fiesta wreath.
A question was, how do you hang your wreaths?
So typically, you would run just a satin ribbon like this through the back side of it. Just kind of lodge it in between the flowers here. And then I hang it with a ribbon over a door. Like if I'd been doing it inside, I would actually just tape it to the top of a door behind my mirror on the mantle. Now for our outdoor, our front door, oopsie, pull the thing right off. We have like an iron kind of grate on the front of our door. It's a window with an iron grate. So I just use a piece of floral wire that I wrap around this and wrap that around the iron grate. So whatever works for you. I haven't found like the ultimate wreath hanger. If you guys have a good one, let me know, because I definitely have a lot of wreaths to hang. So usually just use a ribbon. All right, let's go on to the next wreath here. I'm going to clean up a little bit real quick and bring over my next supplies.
I think everybody's excited about this upcoming wreath.
Oh, thank you guys.
I've been seeing a lot of comments. Show it closer, please. We want to see it.
Thanks. Yeah, zoom on in. All right, so that wreath I made last year, as I mentioned, for orientaltrading.com. I don't know if anyone's familiar with that website. I'm a craft contributor for them, and they are a great online company. They've been around for 80 years, at least, I think, and they are the source for all things holiday, craft. A lot of teachers use them for their classroom supplies, so all the stuff that I'm going to use to make this wreath is from them, and I appreciate them letting me share it with you guys today. But like I said, it's such a pretty wreath, but it uses such simple materials, primarily the Easter eggs, the plastic Easter eggs, and then just the use of some pretty faux flowers in between. So let's get started on this one.
Somebody made one with Easter pasta.
Ooh, I like
sounds
that.
cool.
I wish I could see pictures of all of these. It's very creative. I think anytime you can use an unexpected material for a wreath, it's really fun. I've used all sorts of things that you wouldn't expect to put on wreaths, like cupcake liners and Easter eggs. Okay, so let's get started on the materials. For this, you'll need another foam wreath form. It's my go-to for all wreaths. This one's from Oriental Trading. And then what makes this wreath look so nice is that, at least what I think what makes it look different is that you use all the same color of eggs. So I've got, if you can show them, they're all different shades of pink. This actually came as a package of 144 eggs, which is a great number for making this wreath. And I also threw in some polka dot ones as well. But if you don't like pink, they also sell shades of green in a package, blue, and even purple. So pick your favorite color and go from there. And then I have some pretty pink flowers. So these are some rosebuds from Oriental Trading. They even have like little dewdrops on them, and some other pink flowers to nestle in amongst the eggs. So let's see, to get started, I kind of did a couple steps for you guys, just so you didn't have to watch me wrap it with ribbon. But because this is such a nice wreath and we're not poking things into the wreath, I did go ahead and wrap it with some pink satin ribbon. I just love the look of that. I mean, it adds to the cost of the project, but especially if you're going to make this, you want it to look nice, or if you see the back side of the wreath for some reason, or you're giving it as a gift, I think adding that ribbon is the way to go. So what I did for this is you would just secure this with a dab of hot glue to I'll just show you a little bit, to the wreath form. And then this is 1.5 inch width ribbon. You just take it through, pulling it taut, and then kind of slightly overlapping each, and you just work your way around the wreath, and that covers all the styrofoam. You just don't want any of that styrofoam peeking through. So this is a 10-yard roll, and it is more than enough to cover this 12-inch wreath form, and I think it also is plenty to cover like a 14-inch wreath form. So that's the idea. You would just keep wrapping that around. We're going to move ahead. So the next step is to add your eggs, which I've already got started on here because it can take a little while just to get them to set. I didn't want to do the whole thing for you guys, but the idea is you're doing it all in kind of a random pattern. Or you don't have to think too hard about it. You just start sticking them on in different directions. And don't forget the sides. And don't worry if there's gaps because we're going to fill those in with the flowers. So let me just do a few of those for you guys. So are we hearing any more wreaths that people have made?
Let's see, deco mesh wreaths.
Oh, I've always wanted to try one of those. Those are really popular here in Texas. I feel like a lot of people have deco mesh wreaths on their doors for different sports teams or holidays. And I see those a lot at the craft store, but I've never tried one. What kind of wreath, like a base do you use for deco mesh? Is it a wire wreath form?
Let's see. Let me see what they've got. No, they don't say what they use.
Maybe they'll weigh in again. So all I'm doing here is I'm holding it for a few seconds after I add it. Like I said,
somebody says a military wreath.
Oh,
that
very
would be
nice.
Yeah.
They call it San Antonio Military USA. We've got a lot of great military, U.S. military in town.
In the neighborhood.
In the neighborhood, yeah, that's true. We do. Okay. So,
wire form was the answer.
yes. Okay, I thought so. See, I need to expand beyond my styrofoam wreaths. I think once I find something that I like, I just keep going with it. I don't branch out. Okay, so I've got. Add some more here.
I'm seeing a lot of grapevine.
Pretty,
wreaths.
yes.
And I heard somebody say they just change out what they have on there for the seasons. So they have the grapevine and then they just kind of change it.
I love that. I actually do that with a lot of my wreaths. So like, even with this, you know, when you just poke them into the styrofoam wreath form, you can always, if you don't want that wreath anymore, you can take the flowers out and use them for another project. I'm always repurposing craft supplies. That's a great idea.
We've got somebody watching from a base in Germany.
Oh, awesome. That is so cool. Really appreciate it. This is my first Hometalk Live and Heather's first videography gig. So I'm taking her out to lunch afterwards to celebrate. But I really appreciate you guys chiming in. Please do share this with friends if you think they would like these ideas. And yeah,
somebody asked, where in San Antonio are we?
North Central by Highway 1604, pretty much, 281. It's a beautiful sunny day here today. It's probably going to get up to 80. Very spring-like, although we had a pretty good thunderstorm come through last night. So I'm filling this up. Hopefully you guys are getting the idea here. Yep, if you don't hold them long enough, they will slide off. So you do want to just take the time to just kind of hold them in place. I said all these pretty eggs are from Oriental Trading. I think I'll probably use close to 70 or so for the smaller wreath, and definitely over 100 for the 14-inch wreath form, the one that is completed. So it's nice that they sell them as a pack of 144 eggs. But
somebody wanted to know where we're televising from.
Televising from San Antonio, Texas.
Makes me feel fancy.
Coming to you live. I was going to ask if anyone uses Easter eggs for other crafts, because I have so many Easter eggs on hand. I'm always trying to think of what to make with them, other than a wreath, which I've made a lot of those.
Or an Easter egg hunt.
Or yes, right. I guess you could do that. Definitely doing one of those as well. I did want to show you guys just real quickly one other idea with Easter eggs that I may have on Hometalk. If not, I will add it. But it's to use them to make flowers. Has anyone ever done that before? Let me just show you real quick.
They wanted to see the finished product
of the Easter egg wreath?
Yeah.
Okay, this is where we're headed. Right here. So it's just a very full wreath of different color shades of pink, eggs, and some flowers, greenery sprinkled in.
We have a question. Did you paint the foam pink?
Because
I can only find green styrofoam. So how did you make that pink?
So right here, you are going to wrap it with ribbon. You could try painting it. That's actually a genius idea. I actually like that a lot because it would save you some money. But I wrapped mine with ribbon. So I might have to try that for my next wreath, is painting the wreath form. That's really cool. Yeah, because you will see a bit of it poking through for this particular wreath. So I think it's a good idea to cover your styrofoam. So just real quick, if you have leftover Easter eggs that have the holes in them, which most of them do, they have 2 holes in the top, you can make little flowers that I think look like tulips from them. Do you want to show this, Heather? You got this? So all you do is you wrap a piece of floral wire through the 2 holes, you wrap it on itself, and then add some floral tape. And I made a leaf out of crepe paper, and you've got a little tulip bouquet. So that's just another idea for you guys if you have some extra Easter eggs on hand. Okay, now I'm going to move to adding the flowers. So I got a pack of 12 of these beautiful roses from Oriental Trading, and I've clipped some of them off. It's similar to the other wreath I made. You're going to want to clip these with wire clippers, but here you just clip them right at the base because you're not poking them into the wreath, you're just gluing them on. So pop, just like that. All right, a couple more here.
Somebody, they have Easter eggs that they hang from ribbons.
Yes.
On the mantle from the stocking hangers from Christmas.
Oh, ooh, cute. Yeah, the little holes in those Easter eggs make them perfect candidates for like a garland to string them. I've done that a lot. That is a great idea. You can also string them into like a runner for your table for like an Easter brunch or something. Just run them down the center of the table. So okay, I've trimmed off the flowers. I'm just adding a good dab of hot glue, and I'm just going to stick them in the wreath where there's gaps.
Somebody mentioned that sometimes when you paint those type of styrofoam, that it'll dissolve.
Oh, interesting.
So,
the styrofoam dissolves? Like
yeah, paint sometimes makes it dissolve depending on the material. And somebody wanted to know, where did you purchase your styrofoam ring?
From Oriental Trading, actually. They carry the 12-inch and the 14-inch size. I think it's about $6 or $7. So I'm just adding the flowers. I could also add some more eggs, but I just wanted to show you guys the flower stuff. The nice thing about this wreath is you really can't go wrong. Like, as long as it's full and has some pretty flowers and eggs in it, it's going to look pretty no matter what. So don't have to worry about being too precise. One thing I could probably invest in is a full-size glue gun. Considering I'm a professional crafter and 90% of what I make uses hot glue, I'm still using a mini glue gun.
Maybe the Easter Bunny will bring you one.
My husband always gives me a hard time because he says I don't use the right tool for the job, and I think this might be the case here.
That's somebody real close to us, 1604 in Alamo Ranch.
Oh, awesome. Thank you for joining in.
Bernadette.
Thanks, Bernadette. One thing I also wanted to mention is you can layer eggs on top of each other. So they don't all have to be on the wreath form. They can actually be on top of other eggs. So I'm going to show you that, Heather, if you want to get in a little close. So what you do is you kind of add hot glue where it's joining another egg. So I'm going to try this here and here to position it, since it doesn't have like a solid base, but you just want to glue it to a couple other eggs. That makes the wreath look even fuller, and it's a good thing if you've got a gap but it's not big enough for the egg to go in, just layer it on top. So what do you guys think? How is this coming together? Do you like it? And also, if you haven't already, let us know what your favorite wreath is that you've made, because Hometalk is doing a giveaway here pretty soon at the end of the video for one of their great tote bags.
Here's a suggestion to do with the eggs. I write my daughter's sight words on plastic eggs and make it a fun Easter themed game for her to practice her words.
Oh my gosh.
We can use that.
Yeah, Heather and I both have 5 or 6-year-olds, mine's almost 6, that are learning their sight words. Anything to do with an Easter egg, she would be all about it, my daughter, especially if there's some candy inside. Okay, so it's really coming along nicely. I want to hold it up just to kind of see. There we go. So obviously there's still more gaps to fill in, but we're getting there. That's kind of the idea. Gotta love the hot glue strands. Sometimes I pick my daughters up from school after a day of crafting. I've got hot glue all over my pants. I don't realize it until I'm standing in line waiting to pick her up. Too funny. So yeah, if you're just joining in here at the end of the video, I've made 2 wreaths for spring. One is this floral fiesta wreath that uses faux flowers and cupcake liner flowers, and then the one we're making right now is a pretty floral Easter egg wreath using all different shades of pink Easter eggs, plastic Easter eggs, You could make this any color you like. What color would you guys make this in if you didn't use pink? Or maybe you could also use multiple colors. I'm not saying that you can't. I think it looks pretty with that ombre effect, but anything goes with these.
The question was asked, why are you gluing the flowers on instead of sticking them in the styrofoam?
Great question. So because I covered mine with that silk ribbon, it makes it hard to poke through. And also because some of these are layered on top of flowers, or I'm sorry, on top of the eggs, it would just be harder to kind of poke them in. But you could, if you didn't wrap your wreath form, you certainly could do that.
Ooh, somebody did a baby's breath wreath. That's gotta be
so
gorgeous.
Pretty. I love baby's breath, and I actually meant to have some of that out for this wreath because I think it would be the perfect addition. And I forgot to grab it for the show. It's in my craft room right now. But Oriental Trading actually also has faux baby's breath, which I've been using a lot in my crafts lately. So much fun. That would be beautiful in this wreath, and I think I'll add some after the show just to kind of finish it off, because you'll notice this other wreath uses, is that pussy willow? What is that called?
Yes, pussy willows.
Yeah, very springy. I think that just adding like another element like that that's more greenery than flowers looks really nice.
Somebody asked about, does the glue melt the eggs?
No. It doesn't get that hot. Good question though. Maybe if you doused it in it, I don't know. But not for this, it doesn't melt it. All right. So we have a pretty floral Easter wreath, and I think we're almost done.
Somebody suggested adding cotton buds on there.
Oh yes, pretty. I've been seeing that's very trendy right now. I think cotton, making wreaths out of cotton and stuff. I love that look.
How did you secure the ribbon onto the wreath?
To the wreath, so I started with just a dab of hot glue at the start of the ribbon, and then wrapped it around tightly, and then at the end I also added another dab of hot glue. So.
And the question is coming up also, how are you going to hang this?
Okay, so again, I would probably work a ribbon through it, which I can show you. I usually use a ribbon to hang it, and then I will usually secure the ribbon with some heavy-duty tape to like the top of my door or like the top of a mirror that I hang it on. That's usually how I do it with a ribbon. But this is how it's looking, guys. What do you think?
You say pretty.
Baby's breath could be, I think, a really great addition to this. Yeah. And I can't wait to read some of the comments of the other wreaths you guys have made.
They're about to comment the winner.
Awesome. Thank you guys for tuning in. I hope everyone else has a great Wednesday wherever you're in the world.
The cowboy boot.
Awesome.
Wreath.
Yeah, perfect for us Texans.
Yes.
Congratulations to whoever made the cowboy wreath. I'm excited you guys love wreaths as much as I do, and definitely check out my Hometalk page for more wreath ideas, and you can follow along with me at designimprovised.com. I'm on Instagram. That's where I post a lot of my latest projects, so I'm at designimprovised, and I love simple projects that make a big impact like these wreaths, so I hope you follow along. And also tune in again later today at 5 o'clock tonight Eastern time. There's going to be another Facebook Live from Hometalk. So thank you guys so much. Have a good day.